Yo, bro, what the hell on this thing? Yo, what's the deal? What's the deal? It's your boy Norms, and this is the 10A podcast. And I got a special interview with my man Gregory, Sharpshooter Outlaw in the building. What's good, my brother?
What's going on, brother? How you?
I don't know. I'm good, man. I'm good. Just enjoying everything that I'm watching in boxing today with the Twitter world, the back and forth, and how different boxing is today than once before, right? Before we used to watch boxing and it was HBO, Don King Promotions, Showtime. It was different, and it seems like today the game is kind of evolving, and it's a different game. Whether you follow music, used to buy DVDs back in the day, the distribution of content has definitely changed the world of entertainment, period.
For sure.
And, you're a professional boxer, so we're going to get into that. And, first and foremost, what made you get into one of the most brutal, dangerous, and not only that, a sport that doesn't necessarily pay what people believe? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't understand that it takes a lot in order to start turning this into profit.
The grind.
Please tell me you have to be insanely driven or whatever. What made you want to do this sport? What inspired you?
So I started when I was actually 5 years old. My dad brought me in, my parents, and then I stopped playing sports. But I grew up in like a rougher neighborhood, so fighting a lot. And I'm a bit of a sore loser in team sports. I'm not gonna lie. Cars, anything. I do not like to lose. So my last year, I think losing in the playoffs in the football, my dad was like, my stepdad basically said, you have to choose boxing. You have to choose that because you're too emotional and you're too passionate, and you have to do something you can control. And then I didn't look back. I got better and better. And my coach Will said, told my dad, don't tell him, but he's getting really good. And then he told me one day, choose. And I chose boxing.
How old were you?
At that point, I was still doing a lot back and forth. I think I was like 11 or 12. Yeah. So I came back until I stopped 5 years. Started at 5, stopped for a minute, on and off, came back, and then just full time.
Now, looking you up and stuff on your box work and stuff like that, you didn't really have an extensive amateur career, which a lot of individuals do. They have dozens, a lot of fights under their belt. Why didn't you have such an extensive amateur career? Why didn't you go
two things? I've been around the best in amateurs. That's not right, actually, that box rec thing. But
okay, I'm sorry.
I was not as good. But on the other side, like contrary, I was so small. Like I literally was probably like 15, 16 fighting 60 pounds. So I didn't grow till college. So like I was fighting a lot of the same people, or I had to go like the West Coast, fight some of the Spanish community. And so it was rare that I got fighting. I was older and still small. So I should have had a lot more fights, but God didn't bless me with my height until my sophomore year in college.
That's kind of crazy how that works, right? You had a growth spurt in college, which is pretty it's pretty insane. It's pretty rare, to be honest with you.
Listen, I went to the Olympic trials, fighting 108, and the guy that I beat actually won the whole tournament. But I was 108, and then later on that summer, 141.
Damn, for real?
Yeah, literally. I was like 5'7", maybe like 5'6", 5'5" and a half, 5'6", going into the Olympic trials. Still tall for 108, definitely for 108, he's tall. And then came back to college. I'm 6 feet, 6'1", my dunking with the right shoes on. You know what I mean? So
no, that's what I'm saying. Like that's kind of crazy because you're like 6 feet. You fight at welterweight, right, which is one of the historic divisions in boxing, notoriously famous because Floyd was there for a while, Manny Pacquiao, and things of that nature. But what made you? What was the deciding factor? You saying I'm going pro? Like, listen, you know what? I'm going pro, especially with you seem like a really smart guy, going to school, doing what you had to do. What made you decide this is the route I want to go?
It was never in doubt. So basically, one of my friends from college literally got a screenshot of me telling him, Bro, I'm only in school for my parents because I wanted to be the first one from my entire family to go to school and graduate. I never wanted to go to college. I never wanted to do anything like that, but I'm glad I did. Best years of my life so far. But um, soon as like I told him I was going to do, as soon as I graduated, I turned pro. And I said, I done put too many years into this. Like I sacrificed a lot of my child. You don't know this. People don't know the sport. Sacrificed a lot of my childhood stuff. I had a tournaments. Boxing is all year round. So you got to miss some parties. You got to do this, cut weight. And it's a lot that goes into it. Now my thing is, I'd be damned if I put my body through this, put my mind through this, and not see the end of it, and not seek it. I got to feel it my own. You know what I mean? So that was my mind. My mind been made up that I was doing this for sure.
Now I know a lot of professional fighters. I mean, and it's kind of weird because people don't understand the process. It's not as difficult to become a pro, but once you're a pro, it's difficult to actually get the fights, and it's not a fair playing field, to be honest with you. You got your guys that get signed off for the Olympics or the big amateur tournaments, and they get to solely focus on fighting, and there's the majority of fighters where they work in jobs, 2 jobs, training, getting notice of fights 2 weeks in advance to cut weight, make it. It's an unfair advantage, and it leads to a lot of injuries. It doesn't allow a lot of fighters to reach their maximum potential. How was your journey in that regard? Because it's interesting because you're self-promoted, which most fighters aren't.
So to be honest, in the beginning of when I first turned pro, I still worked. I was working at U-Haul, and I actually did Uber for like a couple of months, like maybe like 6 months. But I always been blessed. Like my parents never kicked me out of the house. So I basically bill free besides my personal bills, and I was just able. So I really didn't even have to work really per se, but they wanted me. I wanted my own money. I didn't want to ask them for anything. I'm already living in their house, so I was working. Then my first fight, I sold so many tickets that the promoters started looking for me. So Marshall, Kaufman, King's Promotion, they sent the contract. But then at the same time, Real Deal was a company that Holyfield was the face. They was opening their brand and then their company, and they sent me an even better contract. You know what I mean? So I signed with them. And the rest is history. And then I was with them up until they went under a couple of years ago. I got sold to, or I don't know how the paperwork goes, back to King's Promotion with Marshall. I was with Marshall, I think about a year or so during COVID. And after that, my contract was up. I was like, I'm gonna stop. I'm doing my own thing. I sell too many tickets to keep giving to somebody else. You know what I
mean? And that's big. That's why I brought up the whole taking your own career in your own hands, because a lot of fighters, they'll get signed to a promotion company, a manager company, and it's their job to find you fights. And it may not be the right situation. Sometimes it might be, listen, we got to get paid. We got to do this. What was because you were with someone, what did you learn from those experiences in regard that you can apply to what you're doing today in regards to promotion?
That firstly, I went to school for sports management, so the business side, and then I've been boxing, so I kind of like put it all together. You know what I mean? That was a blessing for me in a sense. Yeah. But then, the power of ticket selling. Like I literally, my best fight 2 years ago for another promoter, I fought on a card. I sold $55,000 in tickets, and I stopped. I stopped about a week or two early. So it's like, my mindset has always been, first of all, I'm gonna try or I'm gonna fail. Like, you're not gonna tell me I can't do something. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? But then I'm thinking, like, I know math, I know business, I know what makes sense. I got common sense. Why am I giving this guy all this money? Yeah. When it could be me. You know what I mean? So just learning from, and then some other promoters from the area, like Lamont Rose Sr., Ross, a lot of them my like close friends, so like family, if you will. So they helped me with like how much a bout costs and this and that. They walk me step by step. We don't compete, we like work together. So this is my second show coming up, you know what I mean? So
that shit is crazy to sell almost $60,000 worth of tickets, because these tickets aren't $1,000 each. So you're selling a lot of tickets. That's a lot of units.
Listen, 500 plus one fight, 500 plus. Big. I'm every local promoter's dream. So anywhere on the East Coast, My fans gonna travel. I love Outlaw Nation, Team Outlaw. We're gonna travel. That's why I was signed to a lot of the promoters. They wanted me. They heard my numbers and they're like, "Whoa, get this guy. You know, he's gonna cover his belt and some." You know what I
No,
mean?
and I think fighters, it's kind of crazy because fighters don't understand that in this day and age, if you don't have somebody that believes or has invested so much money into you, you know, you have to take advantage of what we have today, the social medias. That's why guys like Rolly Romero are still relevant, and because they understand how to sell a fight. And the crazy thing is, you haven't even got your real opportunity in regards to that, and you're selling, and that's fucking, excuse my language, that's impressive. I'm not even gonna front. $60,000 worth of tickets is crazy.
Yes.
And you said you started doing your first event, right? You
Yes.
did your first event. What was the turnout of that? How did that look?
Listen, we was a lot going on behind the scenes. We literally had a month or less to sell tickets, to give fighters tickets, to do everything. And everybody that came to the event, from the Bowie State University staff to the fighters to the just regular spectators, they all said this was a hell of an event. This was the most people they seen in that Bowie gym. They said well ran, respectful. I mean, it was. Listen, my team believed we had one shot to pull us off. We got loyal fans, but we got one shot to pull this first show off. They know that we're real deal and we're serious, and we made a hell of an impression. So that was part one. You know, Beyond the Ropes part one, and Beyond the Ropes part two is next Saturday, April 26th.
I mean, that's kind of crazy. Like, so now part two is going. You got a series going. You're creating a buzz. How did this is and it's kind of crazy. I speak to a lot of different trainers and fighters. Now that you're doing that, other promoters, of course, want to make money off you. How do you build up to a point where you can start getting the big fights? Because I've seen like big time promotions. I've been to their events. I've been to a lot of independent or smaller events. How do you climb up the rankings to a point where you get noticed to possibly fight, a Blair to Flair or somebody at 147 that may could bring you more notoriety and tickets? How does that work? Because you obviously know how to throw your fights. There's a lot of fighters out there, but how do you get to that marquee market that I know that you want to reach?
We're getting in now, so we're being intentional. My team I got now, and a hell of a team. We're being real intentional, and we're doing things like going to conventions and getting, reaching out to people. And I'm fighting for the WBA, NABA title. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be, I talked to them already. They said I defend this once or twice. I should be in the top 10. So we're being intentional. We're reaching out, making it known, like, hey, we can collab, we can do this. Like I said, Lamont Roach Sr., he like real locked in with Pro Box. So like it was on their card. They want to do business with me and things like that. So we're making it known like that I'm here and let's do some business. Let's time.
Shout out to Pro Box, by the way. I mean, they had guys like Trevor McCumbee come up, Lamont Roach. They're bringing a lot of heat through that organization with the app. I watch it. I mean, Showbox. They're doing their thing. I ain't gonna front like and Pro Box. I'm sorry, I remember there was a Showbox before. Pro Box is definitely doing. I mean, they got guys like Paulie Malignaggi. They're doing a thing with the vlog, and it's really impressive. And you've already been on there. How close do you think you are, and who do you think's reachable right now that you want to fight at 147 pounds?
Like you said, Blair to Flair. It's like you literally. It was crazy you said that because he just beat Adrian Bronner and he talks a lot and he got a little following and things like that. And so I want to go to UK. I want to go everywhere. So somebody like that is, after this fight, God willing, I handle my business, and I'm trying to fight 3 more times this year, God willing. So let's make something happen. And like you said, my mindset is. Every fight's gonna make sense. Like this is my job. You know what I mean? Like people think you're supposed to fight anybody. Go fight Jerron Ennis. That doesn't work like that. You know what I mean?
No, I don't. No,
it doesn't work like that. So like I said, we're gonna be real intentional after this fight. Gonna have that belt. I'm gonna use that to my advantage. I'm gonna defend it. I'm gonna go to the conventions. I'm gonna talk a little more, and we here, man. We
pulling up. I would like to see a Blair to Flair fight because I feel like Blair to Flair is another individual that hasn't. I mean, you got to fight Adrian Broner, whatever, but he seems like one of those guys that nobody's jumping in front of. Nobody's jumping in front of that bullet for whatever reason. Why do you want to fight him, and why do you think people are avoiding Smoker Blair?
I don't know why maybe they feel like most people probably in the top feel like it's going backwards in a sense, I guess. Me, I'm not. This would be up for me. You know what I mean? Like this is a hell of a name for me in my resume. So he beat Adrian Brown up, and he still got following. He still this and that. He gonna talk his trash. He gonna have the world, all his little antics and stuff. So it makes sense for me. You know what I mean? Like I get why other people feel like they're not wasting their time like in the top 47, like with them big other champions at or whatever. But for me, who's climbing, that makes a lot of sense for me.
And you know what's crazy? People may watch this and say, he's bugging. He's not going to crack the top 10. And when I realized, and when somebody had showed me how the rankings actually happen, it's actually you being in the room and your team actually speaking up for you. And I thought that was the craziest thing I've ever heard. Pretty much people are vouching or vying for your place, and you have the right mentality saying, I'm going to pull up and I'm going to say I got this, but that's really what you got to do. And listen, in boxing, it's almost like, I don't want to say the crack game, but it's literally a hustler's dream. It's a hustler's game. You know what I mean? Listen, one of the greatest promoters in the history of boxing went to jail, was one of the biggest hustlers ever, and it was Don King.
Don King, yeah.
I don't think people actually understand how low to the ground, low to the level. I mean, low to the ground boxing actually is in regards to how obtainable it is if you grind. It's kind of dope, and I love seeing what you're doing, especially independently with your second show coming up, because now when you get to those tables and when these guys come to you, they know they can't come to you in a situation where it's like, hey, sign and do this. You kind of already know, listen, I know the numbers of this. I understand that this is a digital game and this is what it is. So, I mean, I got to take my hat off to you in that regard. That's actually super fire, man. I love seeing independent fighters do their thing.
Man, it's a grind, but we doing it by any means.
Well, so 147 is a very dope division. You got the top guys, of course, are Boots Ennis, Brian Norman Jr. We just saw him beat Stanionis, Mario Barrios. Those are the four guys that have the main belts and whatnot. How close do you think are you of possibly getting one of those guys? Or, I mean, do you envision it? Because I know as a hustler, you kind of see it, you put it out there, and you make it happen. Right. How close do you feel like you are to making that dream happen?
I think by the end of this year, if not beginning of next year, like I said, I'm going to win next Saturday. I want to defend once or twice end of this year, and then I'm there. Like I want my listen. Those are the belts I want for sure. But like I keep saying, the UK, some of them fighters they got the money over there. Like I'm Saudi. I want to go where the money at. You know what I mean? The belts is cool. I want those belts. Don't get it twisted. But this is a rough sport we in. I want to do what makes the most financial sense, and be able to take care of myself, create generational wealth, and that's what we doing. But like to answer your question again, we're working towards that by early next year, if not the end of this year. I'm beating them. That my name should be whispering in a lot of people's mouths. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, listen. The money talks, bullshit walks, right? And one thing that you're bringing to the table is money, which a lot of fighters don't know. They just feel like, listen, I'm coming in there, I'm here to box, but you're bringing in something that people and promoters have to promote because you understand that aspect of the game. And I definitely got to take my hat off to you on that.
Appreciate it.
Let the people know everything about the event, who's fighting, where it's at, and it's crazy because I feel like there's so many fighters coming out of DC right now, of the DMV area. But let us know.
So the event is April 26th at Bowie State University, the best university ever, where I graduated from. Mm-hmm. Doors open at 5. First fight at 6. I'm fighting for the WBA, NABA welterweight title. Main event, of course. I got 8 fights so far. Might be one more or 2 added, but 8 fights so far. A lot of local talent, from a lot of them from Baltimore, and then I got 2 from this area. And You can get tickets. You can support me if you follow me on Instagram at SHARPSHOOTER OUTLAW. I got a ticket link in the bio. Or go to www.teamoutlaw4life.com. And man, pull up, support. It's gonna be streamed too. So
well, what is the streaming? Is it pay-per-view? Is it streamed for free? What is it?
it's gonna be on. I'm probably saying this too early, but I'm getting out now. But BXNGTV. The guy Adam got his little company BXNGTV. So I'm not sure how much it costs. I think like $4 or something. You just watch the card.
That's light.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. I didn't know much about boxing until I knew about boxing, but when I went to my first independent show, I didn't know how exciting it was. Like it's kind of brutal. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because I seen some guys get pummeled, and I was just like, bro, is this real? I really felt like I was in the Fight Club. Right. But it was super dope to actually see the grassroots of what a lot of you individuals as fighters have to face. So listen, for those people out there that may doubt or whatnot, trust me when I tell you, these guys lay it on the line. Is entertaining. And there's a lot of women at the fight for you.
I was about to listen to me. I don't know Greg Hackett is from Philadelphia. A lot of people know him because he's
that's
like
my guy, Greg.
That's my man. He made a video years ago and said if you go to a Greg Outlaw show, he gonna bring this is his words. He gonna bring the Cougars out. You need to be there. I'm gonna bring that's my guy. I'm bringing me $55,000 a ticket. You think women? It's gonna be packed. It's gonna be a good event. Mixed crowd. Good vibes, great music. Everybody that go there and they come out, they say, a lot of people from my last show was their first time to supporting me, and it was like, I never knew it was like that. I won't miss another one. I won't miss another one.
It's actually a lot of fun, man. I don't even know how to explain it, man. It's just a different vibe. People are chilling, having fun, drinking, eating. Like, I was like, bro, like, this don't seem like a regular fight. And then you see guys literally laying on the line right in front of your face. So it's really dope, man. So shouts to you. Shouts to your team. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, bro.
I'm definitely tuning in. Send me that link. I'm definitely going to support.
For sure.
You gonna rock out, my brother. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. That's all. Appreciate you.
My guy. Yeah.